A long time ago, in a small town called Bala, there lived a young man named Cyrus. He was a doctor, and he worked at the town's hospital. Cyrus was the best doctor in Bala, and everyone liked and respected him. He worked very hard and helped people who were sick. Cyrus was so kind and caring that he didn't always take money from poor people. If someone didn't have enough money to pay, he would smile and say, "Don't worry. I know life is hard. I will treat you for free." The poor people of Bala loved Cyrus very much because he understood their problems. He wanted to help, not just make money. But it wasn't just the poor people who liked him. The rich people in town also liked Cyrus. They respected his hard work and kind heart. Some of them gave him gifts to say thank you, like cars, watches, land, and money. Because of these gifts, Cyrus became one of the richest people in Bala. Many ladies were interested in Cyrus because he was kind, rich, and handsome. But Cyrus didn't pay attention to them. He was always busy at the hospital, helping people. He didn't even have time for himself, so he stayed single for a long time. But all that changed when he met a girl named Amira. Amira had just finished school and started working in a bank in Bala. She was a cashier, which means she helped people deposit and withdraw money. One day, Cyrus came to the bank to do a transaction, and Amira helped him. As Amira worked on his papers, she saw that many people in the bank came to greet Cyrus. People from all walks of life, old, young, rich, poor, stopped to shake his hand and thank him. Amira heard some people say things like, "Thank you for healing me, doctor," and "Thanks for treating me for free." Amira thought, wow, he's not just a doctor, he's also a very kind person. She was very curious about him and wanted to talk to him more. And Cyrus, well, when he looked at Amira, he thought she was very beautiful. She was tall, had light skin, and her eyes sparkled. Her voice was soft and sweet. Even though Cyrus didn't usually talk much with women, he felt something special and wanted to get to know Amira better. He smiled and said, "My name is Dr. Cyrus, but you can call me Cyrus. I come to this bank often, but I've never seen you before. What's your name?" Amira smiled shyly and said, "My name is Amira. I just started working here last week, after finishing my school service." As they talked, the connection between them was very strong. Everyone in the bank could see it. Even the bank manager, Mrs. Hester, came out of her office. She was also one of Cyrus's patients. She laughed and said, "Dr. Cyrus, I've never seen you talk to a lady like this. You're always working hard. Amira must be special." Then she turned to Amira and said, "You're lucky. Many ladies in Bala have tried to get Cyrus's attention, but he never showed interest in anyone." Amira was surprised. She thought, wow, he's so handsome and kind. I didn't know he didn't have a girlfriend. As Cyrus finished his bank work, he looked at Amira and asked, "Would you like to have dinner with me later today? I'd love to talk more with you." Amira smiled and said, "Yes, I'd love to." After Cyrus left the bank, everyone looked at Amira with wide eyes. They knew she was very lucky. Amira couldn't wait for work to finish. She was excited and nervous at the same time. When it was finally 5 p.m., Amira ran home, changed into her best dress, and went to the restaurant where they planned to meet. Cyrus was already there. He had picked a fancy place and reserved a special table just for the two of them. The table had flowers and soft music was playing. Amira was very impressed. She saw how thoughtful and romantic Cyrus was. They sat down, ate yummy food, and talked a lot. They laughed and shared stories about their childhood, families, and dreams. As the night went on, Cyrus looked at Amira and said, "I feel very close to you. Will you be my girlfriend?" Amira blushed and said, "You're asking me to be your girlfriend on the first date? That's bold." Cyrus smiled and said, "They say fortune favors the bold. I believe today I'll be lucky." Amira liked his answer. She already felt happy and safe around him. So she said yes. They became a couple that day, and their relationship began with love, respect, and care. But there was something they both didn't know about each other, a big secret. One day, while sitting in Cyrus's house, they were talking about the future. Then Amira looked at him and said, "Cyrus, I want to tell you something. I love you very much. I know one day, you will want us to become closer and share everything. But I need you to know, I am a virgin, and I want to stay that way until we get married." Cyrus looked at her kindly. He understood what she meant. Amira was not the only one with this special secret. Cyrus was a virgin too. Even though both had been in past relationships, they had never done anything more. They had both chosen to stay pure until marriage. Amira was feeling worried. She thought that Cyrus, her boyfriend, might get upset when she told him something important. She was scared he might even end their relationship. But when she finally told him, she was very surprised by what he said. "I'm a virgin," Amira said quietly. Cyrus looked at her with kind eyes and said, "Me too. I have never been with any woman before. I also want to wait until I get married." They talked about their wedding. They decided they would get married in 6 months. They wanted to spend more time together before getting married. They wanted to learn more about each other's favorite things, things they didn't like, and how each other reacted to different things. They wanted to be ready to live happily together as husband and wife. They also wanted to meet each other's families and build strong friendships with them. Things were going really well. Cyrus was doing great in his job as a doctor. Amira got a big promotion at the bank where she worked. They were both happy and working hard. Then the 6 months passed, and it was time to get married. Wedding planning was a lot of work. They went all around Bala town looking for the best hall for their wedding. They also found the best cake and decoration team in town. Everything was almost ready. All that was left was for Amira to find her perfect wedding dress. One day, Amira went to the market to look for her dress. She walked from shop to shop, trying to find the one that would be perfect. While she was walking, she saw someone she knew from the past. It was Darren, her old boyfriend from college. It wasn't just any old boyfriend. He was her first boyfriend ever. They never kissed or hugged in a grown-up way, but Darren used to try to make her do it. She always said no, and that used to make him mad. That's why he broke up with her. "Hi, Amira," Darren said as he came closer. Amira was surprised to see him, but she smiled and said, "Hi, it's been a long time. What brings you here?" Aid looked at her and thought she was even more beautiful than before. He felt something strange in his heart. He said, "I came to look for material for a suit. What about you?" Amira said proudly, "I'm getting married this month. I came to find a wedding dress, one that will make me look very beautiful for my husband-to-be." Hearing this made Darren very jealous. He didn't show it on his face, but inside he was very angry and upset. He thought to himself, "How can I be her first boyfriend and still not be her first in marriage? I don't want another man to have that honor. I must do something before her wedding day." Aid quickly made a tricky plan. He lied and said, "You won't find any nice wedding dresses here, but my sister sells some really pretty ones, and they're in my house right now. Would you like to come and try them on?" Amira didn't know he was lying. She trusted him and agreed to go with him to his house. But when they got inside, Darren quickly locked the door and closed all the curtains. Amira felt confused and asked, "Where's your sister? Where are the wedding dresses? Why are you closing the curtains?" Aid didn't answer. His face changed. He no longer looked friendly. He looked scary. He had tricked Amira. Then something very bad happened. Darren hurt Amira. She tried to fight him off, but he was too strong. He didn't listen to her. After he did this terrible thing, he laughed and said, "Now I've done what I wanted. You can go and marry that man of yours." He pushed Amira out of the house and locked the door. Amira was very sad and felt broken. She cried. She didn't know what to do. She had saved herself for Cyrus, and now everything was ruined. She knew she had to tell him the truth, even though it would hurt. Amira went to Cyrus's house. She looked messy and tired. Cyrus was shocked when he saw her. He held her gently and asked, "What happened?" At first, Amira didn't want to talk. But then she took a deep breath and told him everything that Darren had done to her. Cyrus sat on the couch. He was so sad and shocked that he couldn't even move. He felt weak all over. He had loved Amira so much. He had waited to be with her, and now this had happened. Cyrus stood up angrily. "Take me to Darren's house right now," he shouted. But Amira was scared. She didn't want Cyrus to do something dangerous. She was afraid that Cyrus might hurt Darren really badly or worse. So she said no. Cyrus didn't understand why Amira said no. He started to feel confused and suspicious. He thought, why is she stopping me? Is she hiding something? Did she really get hurt? Or did she go to Darren's house because she wanted to? He had many questions in his mind. He didn't know what to believe anymore. Even though Amira kept telling the truth, Cyrus didn't feel okay. He started to think maybe she wasn't telling the whole story. But Amira wasn't hiding anything. She had been hurt, and it wasn't her fault. Sadly, the damage was already done. Even though Cyrus loved Amira, he couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. He had always wanted to marry a girl who had never been with anyone before. And now that Amira was no longer the same, he told her, "I can't marry you anymore." Amira cried and begged him not to leave. But Cyrus had made up his mind. Their beautiful love story had suddenly ended in sadness. Cyrus was a very emotional person. He couldn't bear the pain. So he packed up and moved to a different town far away from Bala. He wanted to start a new life and forget everything. Cyrus thought that moving to a new town would help him forget about Amira, someone very special to him who had gone through something very sad. He didn't know that the pain he felt inside would stay for many months. He moved to a quiet village named Ikate, where he built a new clinic and bought a house. He was a very smart and kind doctor, so people in the village quickly started to trust him. People of all ages came to see him when they were sick, and he always treated them well. Soon, everyone in the village liked him. But no one knew that deep inside, Cyrus was still very hurt. He had feelings he didn't understand, and slowly, those feelings began to take over his heart. Instead of asking for help or trying to talk to someone, he started making bad choices. One day, a 19-year-old girl came to Cyrus's clinic. She looked a little like Amira, and that made old memories come back to Cyrus's mind. He asked the girl a strange personal question, and when she answered, he acted in a way that was not kind or respectful. He told her not to tell anyone what happened. He believed no one would ever believe her because he was well loved in the village. The girl felt scared and confused and decided to stay quiet. That day became the beginning of something very wrong. Cyrus forgot the kindness he once had and started treating other young girls the same way. He thought the pain from his past gave him a reason to act this way, but that was not true. He kept his bad behavior a secret, but some girls began talking about it quietly. One day, a girl named Nyla heard from her younger sister that the doctor had acted badly. Nyla didn't believe it at first because she thought Cyrus was a kind man. But she wanted to be sure, so she came up with a plan. Nyla put some dried pepper in a small container and brought a tiny voice recorder with her. She went to Cyrus's clinic. When Cyrus asked her the same question and started to act wrongly, Nyla quickly threw the pepper in his eyes. Cyrus fell down, trying to wash out his eyes, and while he was distracted, Nyla turned on the recorder. Cyrus said some things that revealed what he had been doing. He didn't know he was being recorded. Once she had everything on the recorder, Nyla left quietly. Later that evening, Nyla went to the village king and told him everything. She said she had proof but asked to share it with everyone at the same time. The king agreed and called for a big meeting at the town hall. He didn't tell anyone what it was about. That evening, many important people from the village came. Cyrus was there, along with some of the girls who had been treated badly and their families. Everyone waited to hear why they were called. To Cyrus's surprise, Nyla stood up to speak. She said, "There is someone here who has been hurting young girls in our village. He acts like he is kind, but he is not. That person is Dr. Cyrus." People were shocked. Many didn't believe her. One man stood up and said, "How can you say such a thing about our kind doctor?" Cyrus smiled. He thought no one would ever believe Nyla. But then Nyla pulled out the voice recorder and played it. Everyone could clearly hear Cyrus's voice. He admitted everything he had done. As the recorder played, other girls stood up, one by one, and shared their stories too. The people were heartbroken. They could not believe the doctor they trusted had done so many wrong things. The village had strict rules for people who hurt others. Cyrus tried to run, but the people caught him. He fell to his knees and started to cry. He said he was not always this way. He told them that after Amira was hurt in the past, he lost control of his feelings and made many bad choices. Some people felt sorry for him, but the parents of the girls did not. They asked the king to give Cyrus the punishment that the law required. Cyrus was taken away, and also sent to jail for what he had done. He was full of regret. He had let sadness turn him into someone he never wanted to be. Moral of the story: it is very important to talk about your pain and find healthy ways to heal. When people keep anger and sadness inside, they may start to hurt others too. But no matter what happens, we must always choose kindness and never let pain turn us into someone we are not. Even if someone looks good on the outside, always be brave enough to speak up if they do something wrong. And always remember, truth and justice will win in the end.